Was good, yeah. It's time you replace Carnelian. Not everybody has a Carnelian, so it's time to say you to Carnelian, and our replacement is going to be Sadie. So let's get straight into Sadie's kit. For those that don't remember her since the good old Gear Raid 2 days, what does she do? Her talent grants basic physical and magical damage reduction of 15%, which is a permanent buff, which is obviously pretty fucking dope for this boss fight. Then we have sustained AoE heal, grants HP based healing to all allies in range. Her healing isn't that strong, at least not with that ability. Then we have the Song of Courage. After the ultimate ends, randomly grants one of the following buffs. Either restore 10% HP every 1.5 seconds or increase 30% of max HP of allies. Then we have Sheltered Heart, periodically resists incoming damage once, cooldown is reduced by 1 second every time the hero takes damage. And to finish it off, we have the most important part of her kit, which is going to be the Ode to Time. During the ultimate, allies in range only take 40% of incoming damage. When this effect ends, they will lose each HP equal to the remaining damage over 12 seconds. Now, awakening wise, you really do not need the A1. The A1 just makes everything a bit more of a breeze. So if you have the A1, nice, but you really do not need it to use her in this way. So we'll be going over her gear real quick. The way you want to build her is a lot of HP, aim for somewhere around a total of 30 to 35,000. Attack speed, if you can manage it on the substats, but it's not as important, could also be like plus 200 or the like. And then the most important part is this right here. Rage Regen. You really truly want to go in as much Rage Regen as possible. The way you achieve that is by having Rage Regen main stat with Rage Regen subs, Rage Regen subs, Rage Regen subs, and some more Rage Regen subs. Artifact wise, if you truly want to aim for the moon, give her Golden Scarab at 25. Other viable options are going to be her exclusive artifact, or in general any healing artifact at all. They are all going to be doing the job. So, because this video is all going to be about Sadie, and she will show off her timings, so you can apply it to 30, to 8, 30, 50, 80 and 120k. We'll be going with a team that can go to 120k, but you do not need these units to reach your 8, 30, 50, 80k scores. And also because this is a Sadie showcase, you'll find the gear towards the end of the video. For those interested, we'll get straight into the run, so that we are all on the same page when it comes to her. Really quick cut in, if you do appreciate the effort I've put into these videos, feel free to leave a like, comment, or even subscribe. It would help me out a lot. And one more tip, if you wanna play this exact same team, what I found out from obviously RNG screwing me over, is you can hit the auto button and it works up until around 70k blood, or basically the +3 poison phase. Peace. Alright, yeah, time for the fight. I'm over here so I don't cover anything important. And let's get into it. So, we'll be going in with Sadie first, Elwyn after, Constance in, then Lust, Arrogance, Salazar, Torador, Percy over here, Alistair bit in the back, and then Praetus. So the reason why we do this is so we can keep everyone in Sadie's range. You can see that Torador isn't in there, but Torador is our tank. He's generally able to hold out more and can take more of a beating. And Elwyn is at least healing Torador, while everyone else is getting cleansed from Elwyn, and Percy is there to ensure that all of our squishier units really do not get hit as hard. So that's it when it comes to placements. Now let's talk about the phases. I'll be explaining her proper placement in this first phase, and then you just see it, I guess, completed over throughout the next phases. So the way we go with this is, for example, we start with all our damage dealers, activate our shiny ultimates, and then the boss is obviously going to start his chainsaw phase. For the chainsaw phase, you bring in whatever you have to get as many attack down stuns as possible. And then he's going to do his run. Depending on your comp, you're either going to be able to completely neutralize this or only partly neutralize this. If you can only do it partly, you have Sadie as kind of like your panic button, or as your I didn't apply as many stuns as I wanted to, or I can't reliably stun the second chainsaw kind of deal. So Sadie is just there to ensure that the second chainsaw, if you can't stun it as much, doesn't hit as hard, or you change your ultimate. So Sadie really isn't all that needed for phase 1, surprisingly enough. So now we are in phase 2. what you can do in phase 2 is, as soon as Earthshatter pops up, you can bring in Sadie. As soon as Earthshatter pops up, you can bring in Sadie, and if you do have sufficient rage regen, you are going to be able to have her ult back up by the next time Earthshatter comes around. Let's see if we can see it as an example, or if we actually kill the boss fast enough. So here we go, right here, 7%. He starts Aegis mode and Sadie's already back up. So for example, we then wait a bit, we trigger Sadie, we do it again, right? So if your Sadie is fast enough, you can do it every Earthshatter. If she isn't, then I recommend you to wait for like the dangerous Earthshatters. By the time when, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stacks stack up, and then you just use her ultimate to survive these big stacks. So here we go with the poison, and then we get the acidic venom. So on the second stack, it's obviously the element cleanse. Then we just continue doing our damage as usual. Let's see, the boss doesn't even get to the interesting part. So here would be the next acidic venom, and the timing for Sadie is going to be on the next acidic venom. So right when the acidic venom hits again, that's when you trigger Sadie, because after that he's going to do a Cyclops gaze with a big explosion, and then the poison is also going to tick, and that's kind of where it cracks. So these are like the general timings. You also have them as text on the left side. Now I'll be fast forwarding the video. So if you want to see this closer, if you want to see the full run, slow down the YouTube video and you're going to be able to see it. So from now on, we just fast forward the footage. Alright, so here we are for the very last rotation. Let's do it one more time properly for all to see on how to properly use Sadie. Oh, that was a fucking fucked up sentence. Okay, so we'll be going in as usual with our damage dealers, obviously trying to get rid of that phase as fast as possible. We can also cleanse with Eloin because there are still some poison stacks left over from earlier. And then we wait for the very first chainsaw phase. There we go. We take care of that one with whatever stuns you have. And we keep Sadie's ultimate in our pocket. So then you just continue on normally. You just attack. And there we go. Chainsaw hit at -4. Still isn't completely deadly. As you can see, you obviously preferably want to get RNG up to like +5 or like -5 stacks, because all our units were rather close to death. Here we do as much as we can to obviously reduce the attack again, but we only get to 2 stacks. So as you've seen before, this obviously would or should mean true death, but right here we'll be waiting out the chainsaw and then activating Sadie. And whoops, there we go. We did successfully survive the chainsaw. No one had to get sacrificed. And yeah, that is how you properly use Sadie in phase 1. So here again we have this the same chainsaw that we can stun, obviously in the hopes of that one again getting up to 4 stacks. As you can see, there also was a potential that Sadie is ready there, but I only find it really reliable up until the second stun. So this is how you deal with Sadie in, how you use Sadie in phase 1 of the fight. Now let's actually have a look at how you use Sadie in phase 2. So here we go in with Sadie. Obviously it doesn't say 10,000, it says 100,000, but that doesn't matter. Earth Shatter pops up, you pop Sadie. It's that simple, it's that straightforward. Earth Shatter pops up, you pop Sadie. And from there on out, it's pretty much just fast forward time. Use whatever ultimates you have. Do whatever damage you need to deal. Boss is going to do his big meteor that's going to hit your Toreador, or in general your tank. Then he goes once more into Aegis mode. And after Aegis mode, it's once more Earth Shatter. Then we just trigger her again to also evade that Earth Shatter. Obviously, if your Sadie isn't as ready as that, feel free to tank out. You have to do it with your HP. To tank out the earlier Earth Shatters and then only use Sadie on the really dangerous ones later down the line, right? So only on like the, for example, 5 stack, 6 stack Earth Shatters. So there we go once more, the big single target hit that luckily enough gets tanked by Toreador. Him pulling out the Aegis mode. After the second Aegis mode is then once more, or basically here it's once more going to be Earth Shatter. We again activate all our ultimates to somehow get through this. Obviously still trying to kill the boss. Once more Aegis mode. This one is again going to be the big single target hit. So if you want to, you can also put the Wood Elf down to prematurely heal Toreador if he doesn't survive that big hit there. We again, or basically continue laying into the boss. Here on the Earth Shatter it's going to get a bit closer, but you still have a lot of opportunities, a lot of windows, so you could also Earth Shatter earlier to make this one not as close as a call. Or basically you could ult for the Earth Shatter earlier, right? There we go. He now goes with Earth Shatter once more. And that is obviously because he now has too many fucking stacks. So yeah, there we go. We did lose one of our guys. But that's also kind of like RNG. Because for example, it didn't happen in like all the runs I did before. Honestly, it is what it is. This fight just has a couple RNG elements and it's something we gotta live with. So, now the question is, will we still be able to reach 120k with this bullshit going on? I don't know. We gotta see. We obviously want to bring in Percy as quick as possible. And if we're lucky, we get him in before the next Acidic Venom after this one. Because that is the real dangerous run. And also the one where Sadie is going to come in really clutch. So, that's again the big rock. Again hits Toreador. Toreador obviously getting hurt, but not getting killed. And here's the Acidic Venom I was talking about. So, after this Acidic Venom, he's going to do a big, like, Cyclops gaze is what it's called. And that's going to do a bunch of DPS, or a bunch of damage. We obviously wanna basically have our Sadie ready here so for that damage reduction. Let's see if we still survive it. Barely. And there we get Alistair killed from the poison. So basically the reason why we failed there is because first he got killed by RNG. It's brutal, but it is the way it is. We're still going to be fine though. We should be able to pull through here if everything goes to plan. Obviously Toreador is now dying for no reason besides the fact that he wants to. And Acidic Venom is coming in and we are super prepared, obviously. Oh yeah, the reason why he died is because Alistair died. So we're basically chainsawing towards an abyss here. So obviously the reason why Toreador died is because Alistair wasn't on the field anymore. If the 30% debuff on the isn't on the field anymore, then obviously Toreador gets one shot, right? And the reason why Alistair died is because Percy died, and the reason why Percy died is because of RNG. Yeah. And there we go, we lost Constance. Now, can we still pull through? I don't know, we shall find out. So, here we once more go with the Venom. Let's see, Sadie should still be able to come up. Sadie comes up for the big Cyclops Gaze. The Cyclops Gaze really is what kills you here. So Cyclops Gaze kills us. Alistair comes back in. what a great run. But as you can see, even if it gets closer, you still have enough survivability options to still somehow make it through. So here we once more go with the poison. Obviously use Elowen to cleanse. Go in with the hits. And there you go. Poison phase dealt with 120k. And we're recovering. Yeah, we're recovering from our mistake. Or from I guess, the bad hand of RNG. Like I said, this hasn't happened in any of the runs before. But I guess it's kind of like the... I don't know what the word is in English, but it's like the show-off effect, right? It's the effect when you when you want to show something off, and what could go wrong just goes wrong. Torador is still alive, everybody's still kicking, and we can obviously continue to run from here. But to be honest, I really do not think there's too much of a point from here. Obviously, you can continue on with the same thing. You're going to get the same results, but as you can see, we beat 120k, and that's honestly the point where we stop. Now onto gear. Alright, gear-wise, as a refresher, here is Sadie once more. Important parts. Around 30k HP. Attack speed doesn't need to be as high. And then the important part is Rage Regen. Rage Regen. If you can manage it, get in Golden Scarab, use an exclusive artifact, or honestly any artifact in general. It really truly doesn't matter. Then we have Praetus. Praetus, stat-wise, full attack, high crit rate, high crit damage, rather high attack speed above 200, artifact tier Twilight. Alistair, high attack speed, high crit rate, rather low crit damage, tier Twilight. Constance, you can improve Constance by going into an invigoration set, but we just have high attack speed, which is rather helpful but not as important because we play in a position where she can't really heal, and then around 40 to 50% rage regen combined with an astral obelisk, but also not as important, just helps with DPS. Elowen we have in decent attack, high attack speed, rather high rage regen, and Bright Root Ring, so you do not need a rage regen artifact on your Elowen at all. Though the first thing you're going to notice is that we are running her on A3. A3 just helps with survivability. You only need it past 90,000. So if you want to reach 120,000, having her A3 and display the buffs is really helpful, but not required. You can do it without if you just have good enough base stats. Firstly can be, for all that it matters, can be A0. Awakening isn't as important. You want him in decent HP, high attack speed, and that's honestly about it. If you can fit it some rage regen, artifact wise we're running him in the euphoric orb to boost the attack speed of everybody. Torador is in the most tanky set you could possibly put him in. Give him some rage regen if you want to have him ult earlier. Give him some attack speed, which might help with the chainsaws, but it's not that important. Artifact wise, Regal Crest to counter effect, or basically to counter the Lord skill, which reduces healing, right? Faction reduce the healing by 15%, we give him plus 30, he overall gets more healing. Last is actually A5. You could also use Iowa and Silas instead of Praetus and Alistair. So Alistair and Praetus were A0. Last was for this run A5, and she had a waiting skull. Skill wise you have high attack speed, crit rate, and then 150% crit damage with a wailing skull. Arrogance was also A5. You can get away with less if you want a lesser score. This one could also be a Scarlet Hunt because we're running Salazar, so it doesn't need to be as exclusive. Obviously his exclusive at 25 is too much. Gear wise you have high attack speed, decent crit rate, and then as much crit damage as he can fit. Artifact we already briefly talked about. Salazar also A5. The most important awakening for Salazar is still his A3 though, with the increased bleed, or just the A1 with the increased chance to apply the bleeds. Stat wise we are running again high attack, above 200 attack speed, 100% crit rate, 150% crit damage, and then some rage regen, but the rage regen truly doesn't matter. And then we have artifact the Scarlet Hunt. Alright, yeah, that was everyone for this 120k showcase, but the main focus is still going to be Sadie. So, Carnelian is needed no more. F Carnelian. Enjoy using Sadie here, and we see you on the next one.